Hi guys! I had to make this video because the dolly gods have smiled upon me on this day. Not one, but two of my all-time dolly grails did I manage to find for very good prices. I'm kind of in awe and shook because honestly, if you've watched any of my videos before, you probably notice I love Bratzillaz. I've been collecting them kind of as I go. These are two that I genuinely did not anticipate owning because they tend to go for very high prices online. And they're kind of, I guess, more sought after. I don't know if they're rare necessarily. They just sell for a lot of money. And the people who already have them seem to be like holding on to them for dear life, which is great. Because now I'm one of those people and I don't know, like I'm just very grateful. So of course I had to make a video to document this glorious, glorious day in my collecting history. So yeah, I think what we'll do is I'll just go give a bit of an in-depth on each one. And then, at the end I'll give them a wash clean and, you'll see the end result. To be fair, Fianna is basically perfect already. I'll give her a wash just to kind of freshen her, but, Vampelina is the one who needs a bit more loving. So I think I'll start with Fianna Fins. So she's from the Midnight Beach series, which was 2013. 2013. So the gimmick with this set was that they came in with this glow in the dark kind of plastic. Now, of course, I haven't had her in the sun or anything yet, so I don't know how well that's going to show. I've already looked at one of these dolls on my channel. I am hoping to get more of them because I think they're absolutely beautiful dolls. I love the glow-in-the-dark kind of tone to their skin. I don't know. I just really enjoy it. So yeah, I guess we'll just dive in, literally, whoa, not you, and see what we have. So she came with a hat. I don't think that's her hat. I'm sure her hat is like the green variation. But yeah, I'm not a huge fan of the hats anyway, so I tend to just put them away in a drawer. So I don't mind really, honestly. I'm going to pop her off of the stand because it's a little bit awkward. So here we go. Starting with her hair, which has these different toned strands, which is just such a pretty mixture of colors. Like, I don't know if the camera is even actually doing this justice, honestly. There's these sort of teal and these really light shades. So yeah, I can't really tell if that's coming across as well as it is with my eye. There we go. We can kind of see her her eyes kind of glow as well. It's super cool. Her makeup is so glittery. I love the colors with her, the little eyebrows. The eyes are absolutely stunning. Like you can see why this doll is so wanted because she's just so pretty. Her eyes have the little moons in them. Little crescent moons, which I just think is such a sweet kind of a design to have. Her lips are this frosty, glittery sort of lipstick. Very pretty. Even her teeth are glittery. She's a mermaid. She can get away with it. Yeah, the excitement is real. So there's her mark, her tattoo, I'm calling it. It's her mark for her magic mark, I guess. So I mean, yeah, the usual points of articulation, nothing too strange to see there. So she has this kind of bikini top with like see-through straps and this little plastic starfish. And also on her dress, she has the same kind of starfish, and her dress is like taken up with folds. And basically to mimic the look of a mermaid, which I love mermaids, so she was always going to be a winner for me anyway. Yeah, I love these sort of tendrils coming down. It's really pretty. So this is actually attached, as you can see, with some little plastic pieces, but the bottom white piece is actually removable and can be used as like a shoulder cape if you prefer it that way. Personally, I love it this way. I'm going to leave it as it is, especially since it's still attached. Why mess with a good thing, honestly? Because I wouldn't want to cover her up anyway because she's so pretty. And she has her shoes. Her original kind of tealish coloured shoes. So we've seen these shoes before on the Bratzillaz, but not in this colour. This is a colour that is for this outfit and for her specifically. So I was very pleased with that, of course. Right, so yeah, it's so weird. I still kind of can't believe they're here. Strange. Now we're going to move on to Vampelina, also the same year, 2013, with the Magic Night Out series. Funnily enough, I think it's the series I seem to have the least dolls from at the moment. Anyway, I'm not sure why that is. But anyway, it's all good. So, she's fairly complete, but we'll just give it kind of a rundown anyway. So, her hair, it isn't a mess, which we can fix. But she has, it's kind of mostly blonde, this black section, and then this smaller red section, which is tied up. I do have her hat. Of course, I put it away before doing this because, yep, as you do. But I do have her original hat. Again, I'm not really someone who bothers with the hat, so it's there. I might poke it out again to put on her at some point. We'll see. Maybe for the end of this video. Anyway, let's see. She has this lovely light blue kind of color to her plastic, her body. It's very unusual compared to the, other skin colors in the range. I'm not sure what this is off of. It's just like a busted up elastic, maybe. Yeah, I'll have to look into that. I don't know. So here's her beautiful red cape, her silky cape. It has all these like sewn in ruffle areas. And of course you have these little beads here to keep it secure. Yep. Very nice. And you can undo it with this little elasticy string piece here. Her tattoo is of a mouth with fangs, as a vampire I guess would have. Actually, I should go back and let's have a look at her eyes. So her makeup is a bit more, it's kind of muted in one way, but her eyebrows are kind of more like severely arched, which I think really suits the character. Very deep crimson lips with the fangs. Love the two-toned eye. Almost kind of looks like a sunflower, but it really pops. Like, it looks really cool. And let's see, her dress has this ruched top piece with more beading, and this is almost like kind of like that bird cage kind of design, with just a simple piece of skirt underneath. And of course it all comes off at the back with Velcro. The usual articulation, nothing strange here. She has her socks, her original stockings, up over the knee with the red. These are not her shoes, sadly. But yeah, like for the price I got her with, my goodness, I'm very pleased to have her with any shoes or any clothes. So I'm really happy. But I will probably try to get her shoes at some point, or shoes that are very similar. We'll see how that goes. Honestly, I don't mind. I'm not at all worried about that. I think the boots do for now. I might find something more fitting in between just to like go better with the look. So yeah, that is what these two girlies look like up close. They're both, neither of them are particularly loose, which is nice. Sometimes the joints get very, very loose on these. So we'll be right back with the afters. One thing I just noticed while I was getting them ready to kind of get them washed is that her body is actually quite yellowed, like above the knee. Not so much the face, but then across the chest and stomach and arms. So what I might try to do is either put them into like one of those, those bats for those tooth cleaning tablets, because that can actually help. And if that doesn't work, I might try peroxiding her just for 2 or 3 days, just to see if I can brighten her up. So I will keep you posted. Here they are, all finished and done, with only one addition to make, which is the hat, which I did find. Now it doesn't have an elastic on it, I'm guessing that broke a long time ago, but you can still sort of place it up there. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of the hats, but it's nice to have it all the same. So you might notice she is wearing her shoes. Or is she? Because in my sort of random ramblings and looking at my dolls, I came across this budget girl in my collection who we saw, I can't remember did I do a video on these ones? I think I might have. But her shoes happen to be the exact same mold as Vampelina's. And I think the same colour red, although I'm not entirely sure, maybe Vampelina's might have been a slightly darker plastic, red plastic, but essentially they are the same shoe. So they are an official Bratzillaz shoe with the same mould, with pretty much the same colour. I'm not sure if that is meant to be darker or not, but I can look that up in the meantime. On a budget doll. On this lovely jade Jador. So, my idea here is instead of trying to go online and figure out how to find and then not pay €1,000,000 for her original shoes, I can take or find another version of this doll, maybe not in such good condition as this one, whichever, on Vinted, there's a bunch of them, and basically buy her for her shoes because they are the same and it makes sense. So yeah, I'm super happy, guys. Makes sense to me. Anyways, so yeah, you save money and they look the same. They look the absolute same. Her sock is coming down a little bit. Her legs are still doing that, whoops, that bendity thing. So I'll definitely put some tack under her shoes just to keep her from, you know, it kind of keeps them that little bit straighter, I find. But I'll fix that afterwards. It's okay about the hat. I'm not keeping it on her anyway. Maybe just for a few pictures. But yeah, so there they are. So Vampelina's hair is supposed to be dead straight, like all of her artwork and everything, the hair is dead straight. But with the doll, I find that like her hair is just naturally doing this kind of, you know, little flippy curly thing at the bottom. So I figure I left it because I thought it was nice. It kind of softened her features a little bit for me. Don't know how well that's even showing there, but yeah, it's still slightly damp at the bottom as well there. Because I was just so excited, I had to put everything together. And I wanted to see how the shoes looked, and I'm really pleased. So yeah, when she's got the tack under her shoes and her legs are actually straight, that's how she will look as well. Fianna just looked amazing already. She just looks the same, but, you know, less dusty, more sparkly. They both have the thatched hair, I should say, which I really wanted to keep that. One part is like thatched from way over here though, so like I tried putting it that way. No, I tried kind of putting it up this way. No, it just wants to sit there. So I figured that's like, you know, that's her unique thing that she has. Yeah, so actually a really fun thing with Vampelina I noticed as well. I kind of just thought her hair was blonde, but it's actually got these like almost iridescent white streaks in there as well. I don't know how well the sunshine is even going to kind of show these. But they're almost like UV reactive, if that makes any sense. So that like it's even just doing her hair, like she's getting these kind of bluish purplish tones because of the white. I think it's pretty cool as well. It's like a very subtle ethereal detail for her, which I love. Although this white hair is kind of doing the same thing actually. I think it's just whatever white hair they use. It gives off a really nice kind of a shine and a glow. Perfect. So there are my grails, which I genuinely never thought I would own. I am so pleased. Yeah, I don't like, yeah, I'm like, I don't want to sound like I'm bragging or anything. I'm just so excited, genuinely, because I love all the Bratzillaz, and these have been on my wish list like forever. So to have them is pretty special. And I guess I just want to say for anyone else out there, not necessarily for these exact dolls, but if you have anything that you collect and there are grails or one particular one or two that you really would love to own someday, but you think it's out of your reach, it's not necessarily so. I had the absolute luck of finding these two. The seller was a collector themselves. They did not want to be making a huge profit off of these dolls like a lot of the scalpers and the eBay people did. So like beyond fair, like a price I can't even believe, honestly. So there are people out there, just keep your eyes, you know, follow anything like on Vinted, eBay, just kind of follow, add to your wish list, let it sit there. It's good to keep an eye on what these things are kind of, you know, going for at any given time anyway. And in my case, I was contacted by a particular seller, and the rest is history. So it can happen. There's definitely hope there for everyone, because genuinely, this is not something I ever thought I would see in front of me. So it's really just like a hopefully toned video out there that keep your hope up, keep trying, you know, and don't go out there and spend all your money on scalpers and their super crazy priced versions of things, because at the end of the day, we do this for fun. Like, it's a hobby. You don't want to be, putting yourself under any financial issues to buy, anything. It doesn't matter what you collect, honestly. I'm all about the thrifty collecting as much as I can be. So yeah, just keep that in mind. Sometimes I know there's like a fear of missing out, but sometimes then the universe, kind of gives you a gift. So, take the good and the bad. Sometimes it is hard waiting, though. I mean, the amount of time I've spent, over all of these years going, oh my gosh, they're so pretty, seeing Fianna, especially in so many other collectors' videos, and, kind of silently wishing, oh, someday. Yeah. Ta-da! So it can happen. Stay hopeful, guys. All right, I'm going to let you go. Thank you so much for watching, and tune in for the next one.